This conference will now be recorded.
It's recording.
All right, Town of Cottage Grove's Plan Commission will hold a public meeting on Wednesday, January 24th, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, 4058 County Road N. You can also join the meeting by GoToMeeting. The meeting was posted at the Town Hall and on the website. We have a quorum present. I'll call the meeting to order. You have the minutes of the December 27th meeting in your packet.
Motion to approve as presented.
Motion by Anders. Is there a second? Second by Myler to approve the minutes for December 27th, 2023 as presented. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item is public concerns, public's opportunity to speak to the Plan Commission about any subject that's not a specific agenda item.
It looks like it's my turn, doesn't it?
You're the public we have.
You're the masses.
It should work out. We'll just pass it on.
Sure. That's right.
Is that enough? Okay. So Roger Lane brought it to our attention that some of these lots are not suitable for sewer, a holding tank only, and that your town,
You mean septic?
not septic, holding tank, and Cottage Grove's plan does not allow holding tanks. But there is, I was talking to Richard Hero, who does sewer work. The land to the south, there's a triangle lot down there. That's not part of this development, but it's landlocked. There's a creek there, so it's just wasted land. It's also highland that most likely will perk. And they're saying these other lots are not suitable for holding tanks because the groundwater is too high. A lot of them. This is not, but this might be suitable for actual septic or a mound system. And I don't know what the rule, you can have 6 lots on a well, right?
3.
Shared well?
Yeah, I think it's 6, isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I've heard of 3.
Or 3? Okay. Is the same then for sewer?
What's that?
Is the same for sewer?
No.
We have 5 on ours.
You have 5 on yours?
On
your well?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's it for sewer?
Individual.
Yeah, that's all individual.
Is it all individual?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That would make sense. You know,
Actually, I think we could have had a 6 and that house built way later and we voted it
I
out.
thought it was 6.
I think it was 6 that was.
So we're talking, I just talked to Chris today about getting permission to have holding tanks until the sewer comes in. Otherwise, most of these lots right now are basically dead, right, as far as doing anything with them, as far as selling them. The only ones I can sell are lots 1, 2, and 7 and 8.
Eight needs to be, can't be done until the north side of North
Yeah,
River Road.
the road is in there now. Yeah. And I can't put that road in for 1 lot. I mean, that's cost prohibitive. A lot, it's gonna pay a lot of money for a road.
Right.
You know, in reading this, there was a lot of other things going on.
And none of them were very truthful. First of all, there is no wetlands. The wetland's about the size of this right here. I work right through it. It's a cropland. They called it wetland, it's cropland.
I understand
Yeah.
that definition.
Yeah.
But the part about it is there was drain tile in there.
The drain tile then was where the ponds are. They took that out because that's ponds now. There's no drain tile, that's all pond.
Right, but it was in order for you to farm it.
Yeah,
When you take them out, that's gonna change all the ground activity.
Yeah.
So,
but all that engineering was approved by Dane County. They're the ones that approved all that engineering for this. Another thing, it said those lots are too low for a flooding wall. We had to raise it up for their specs. That's where they wanted it.
you said it wasn't floodplain, but it was 2 to 4 feet.
Above the pond level. It'd be probably above water level, yeah. Yeah, we had to raise it up 2 feet according to Dane County's specs.
And then we talk about the tanks.
Yeah.
That's a whole other story, whether we would approve them or not.
Yeah,
But structurally, they won't hold.
they said they're part of it, but part of that land is high and dry. It's not part of that. The digger said you could probably go down 10 feet and not hit water. They just took like the lowest part that's got the soil like that and said it's not gonna, won't be able to hold a tank. But we work a lot of that, it's dry land. It's not all wetland there.
But if we're not going to allow holding tanks anyway, it's a moot point.
Yeah.
Now on, well, yeah, my map is the same as what you got here.
Yeah.
The areas that you have delineated on your lots as far as septic goes, have they all perked and have those locations all been approved already?
I think that was done by Rich Harrell, Richard Harrell. He was the one that did that, I believe.
Because
I
in
can't
the
confirm
letter,
that. I
I
can't
thought that
confirm
there
that.
was a concern that
Yeah.
the locations,
Because they took some of them out, see that? And then after they perked, they took some of these out, they thought would perk. They tossed them off.
Judging by what they have listed here, with the lot numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. That's right in the middle area when it's low.
Yes. Well, no, not, 3 is not low, that, I found it on the left, that's not low ground.
Low
The
enough.
lower part of number 4, the eastern part is, and 5 and 10, 9 and 10. But it's not really, the low ground is right, the spot is really, really low. That's on the eastern half, not on the western half.
Where outlot 1 is.
What's that now?
Is that outlot 1?
No, be lot 4. That's where it's low.
Oh, okay.
No,
Eastern
right,
part
Ryan
4,
Kwan
it says.
said, now with this new elevation, that's still higher than the surrounding farmland. So we talked to Roger Lane about that, saying, how can you call that low and it's higher than all the farmland around there?
Mm-hmm.
In addition, lots 4 and 5 were found to have standing water in them, in the area being artificially drained by subsurface drain tile, which disguises the true water table of the area. From the area where you ripped out drain tile.
Yeah, down in that area there, because that's where the ponds are now. Yes.
So the ponds are here, correct?
Ponds are,
Outlot
Yes.
1.
Yes.
yeah,
But you ripped out drain tile in lot 4.
I don't have to look them up. I don't know as much tile because that's higher ground there. But I know all along the east side, that's where the tile is, with the low ground, not up there where a lot of forest.
So the local guy, the guy who usually does all that stuff around here, didn't he tile it?
That one's done with that Joel guy down there.
Joel Meyer.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
He would
did.
have drawings of it. He would have the drawings.
Yes, I got him too. Yeah.
So what do you want to ask us to do or think about?
Well, I was thinking about getting permission for holding tanks until the sewer comes in, and at that time they'll have to go with sewer. You know, otherwise I'm gonna have to shut this project down because there's nothing
For,
to sell.
That could be a long time out before that sewer.
Right.
I think so
for
too.
those 6 lots?
Yes,
3, 6, 9, and 10. And then 4 and 5, didn't they say won't even keep the holding tank down anyway?
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
mean, they're saying that none of the lots that they numbered here, you could put a tank down and get it to hold.
I thought it said 3, 6, 9, and 10, it can't have on-site septic.
Right.
Mhm.
And 4 and 5,
4 and 5 are too.
4 and 5,
have,
They have water sitting on them.
won't hold us holding tanks. So I think that maybe there's a potential for holding tanks if you guys would allow it on 3, 6, 9, and 10, but not on 4 and 5.
right.
That's all I
It's
do.
like Rich Hill told Roger Lane yesterday, you can have those tanks above ground. You don't have to be in the ground.
Yeah, you put a grinder inside.
Yeah,
And what, Tom?
You can put a grinder pump inside
Yeah,
and a pump up to the tank.
Pump,
So it's basically above ground tank.
like what we do down here. We pump from our septic tank up to
to
the
the sewer,
line.
yeah.
Does it freeze?
It shouldn't because the pipe should be, if it's installed correctly, it's gonna all back pitch, so there's nothing sitting in the pipe. Just like a septic system out in your front yard. The pipe is not very deep. That pumps out to your drain field. It's not supposed to be holding water. If it holds water, it's gonna freeze.
So it would, you're saying it would back drain to the tank, correct?
The pump would pump to there'd be I don't know how the system, what the pumps actually are, but it's, or how big of the tank inside the building would be,
Okay.
but it would hold enough
Oh, so
capacity to where it pumps out to the tank and then it'll backflow back into the pit inside.
Okay.
So
Oh, so
between the building and the tank outside, it's not sitting in there.
Okay.
You know what I
So it
mean?
won't freeze.
Right.
The backflow comes back to the building
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
out to.
Or the tank could probably be right exact, I don't know what the requirements are where the tank is in relation to the structure. It could almost be right next to it, you know, or housed inside part of the building or something, but I don't know how the codes are for all that. It's doable. And how, you know, it's gonna be, size of the tank and pump is all gonna hinge on the needs of whatever is there,
Right.
you know.
What's to
Occupy
prevent
the
you
property.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, for all we know, all they need is a bucky sitting out there.
Yeah.
So that's a holding, now is that under the idea of a holding tank or
Yes.
part of a septic system?
It'd be a whole, well,
Oh,
I don't know how the county or whatever would rule it,
okay.
but it's basically a holding tank system. You know, instead of it gravity flowing out to the tank, you are pumping it out.
Yep. And then there's no leaching field.
No. Mhm.
Okay.
Nope. And then the tenant would have to get tank pumped every once in a while.
Yeah.
And depending on their uses, that's their deal.
and Chase Lumber in Sun Prairie is a holding tank. So is all the stuff down there on Highway I'm sorry, the stuff on the west side of N and 12 and 90, that great big station there, that's a holding tank. Great big place, yeah.
How did we get on this path of having holding tanks in the first place? Because I know there was a meeting where you said there wasn't going to be any septics wouldn't be allowable. So you were just going to put a holding tank. How did we even get on that?
I don't think that,
It's in the,
agree.
What's that?
I thought they were gonna do septic fields the whole time, and they just hadn't
And
had the
everything.
testing done yet for 2 of them.
Yeah.
And it was on the plat that they had to determine where that's gonna be. And so then a work behind is a holding tank, and then, oh, we know we can't do that, so obviously, what's the discussion is,
There's a
Should we
meeting where
modify the comprehensive plan to allow holding tanks in certain situations?
Right.
Absent having a sewer system put in right away.
And I would think maybe in the next 30 to 60 days, town board will decide if they're going to do that or not.
how long would it take to do the
To do a sewer system.
sewer system.
Over a year, or a little over a year.
But that wasn't even coming all the way out to this.
No,
No, it was going as far as the creek on end.
Yes.
And you're probably looking at from there to North Star Road, 500,000 to run it to there.
so what's going to prevent you from completing the lots that will either allow a mound or a conventional
Those,
system?
those 1, 2, and 7?
1, 2, 7, 3.
Well, 3, that's crossed off. That's not a, can't have a mound there.
Oh, mine says mound.
Yeah, mine's crossed off. There was a mound that got crossed off.
This has 3 as one of them that can't have a conventional on-site septic system
Okay.
or not any kind.
On Brandon's letter?
Dan Everson's letter,
On what?
Dan Everson's letter. He was,
Oh, I got the other one. Sorry. Okay.
The big thing, okay, if I do 1, 2, 3, and 7, what's the schedule for that? What, you have to go start all over from scratch, or what do you do? With a new plat then?
You'd have a new plat and then you'd do the zoning. Tim? Plat first?
I mean, I guess Roger Lane is, that's probably what he might want to talk about because the zoning was contingent on the plat and now that the plat's been denied, then
We don't have the zoning.
that they don't have the zoning either and you wouldn't probably be rezoning that whole big area, just whatever a new plat might have.
Right. So that you could verify that with Roger probably on Friday to do a new plat and then do the zoning.
And that's another 6 months to a year again, usually, by the time it goes through all of the stuff.
Well, if you do it more simultaneous than you did last time, you know, if you have your plat ready to go at the same time that you're asking for zoning, it should move faster than it did for this one.
Yeah, because you could do the plat at one meeting and the zoning at the same meeting.
Pretty much, yeah. And you know, you still have to submit.
It still takes the 3 months or whatever to get on the county
Right,
schedule.
and you
Yeah.
have to, and then I think, I'm not sure how the county does this, but I think that, like plat review, what you're doing, what you just got denied for, and zoning are separate enough that they could run simultaneous. You know, but you want to make sure they're going to work with like each other, obviously.
Yeah,
So I think it could go faster than what this did for sure.
mm-hmm.
Okay,
Roger should be able to clarify that for you on Friday then.
okay. He says,
So if he's able to get a private sewer system built with this and not have to do the tanks, that would help. Private sewer system with he's drawing here. They could actually be all commingled together, 9, 10, 6, 5, 4, and 3, going to that mound, if he can build a big enough mound or have a big enough area, if that would work, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they allow that or not.
That would be one of your discussion points.
well, well, he's
A
talking about
private, a
it.
private sewer system.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I see what you see, a private. Okay,
Now, the question I have is how far away is that? Not dispersal area, but the
The triangle lot he talked
Yeah,
about?
where that, oh, what's the word? For that septic field, for the septic field, if that would be too close to the creek or not, I don't, that's a question.
Well,
Then,
that might be within 300 feet.
you'd want to determine that too,
Yeah.
just before you go too far with the private thing.
How many acres is that?
I'm thinking 3
3
or
acres?
4, around that.
Decent size.
Yeah,
That's good size.
Well, some of that is filled up. There's just a small part that's actually original. The rest was a berm.
Yeah.
Which doesn't qualify. Because that's where they put the extra black dirt.
but that would be an option, I would think, if they would allow something like that, that would help you.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
So that if he can't do a private sewer system, then he's got to have us allow having holding tanks.
These are 3 options. We go with allow holding tanks on a per
Applied for basis.
applied for basis, the way to put it. Rezone the thing and take out a couple of these lots. Or get a private septic or sewer system.
Private sewer
You
system.
have 3 options there.
So I don't understand, what's a private sewer system?
Basically,
I don't know.
if I
It'd be like
understand
having-
Landowners that bought your lots would own it and take care of it.
Kind of like the opposite of a shared well.
Yeah, they'd all be flowing to one spot.
Yeah.
What's that?
The other end of it.
Wherever a lot perks or something, it'd be
Yeah.
flowing to that. So you'd be pumping off a lot 3 or 4 or whatever down to lot 7 or whichever one actually perks with
Yeah.
enough capacity for what you need.
You know, all the lots would be deed restricted, so they would have to be participants in that system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So what's the difference with that and a shared sewer? All of them are gonna have 3, what's the difference between a private and a shared?
I think your desire would be to include 8, 9, and 10 on that whole thing, or at least 9 and 10. So
Run the line the whole way.
that's semantics. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the same thing. They're just they're gonna share a drain field,
right.
but
They'll have their own individual tank.
how it's, it's probably gonna,
Well, that's the other thing. They could have their own individuals. They just have to get the stuff pumped there, right?
They would probably have collecting tanks, and then when it got so full, then it would get pumped to that drain field.
Okay.
would be
if
my
that's
guess.
even a thing.
Right.
Yes.
So it happens at mine,
Yeah,
but
A lot of it's gonna depend.
I own it all. So it's not right.
yeah.
It's just a septic field. It's not a private sewer system.
But if you decide not to ever have any holding tanks, then this is not gonna work most likely. Unless I can find a place that perks somewhere. Or I can put a mound somewhere. Somewhere on the thing.
Well, each place would still have its own holding tank. Like he said, the tank could fill and then pump to the drain field wherever that is in the plot.
Yeah, but we gotta find a drain field.
Correct.
Right, that's a
Big enough
little
to have the
triangular
goal.
thing you're talking about.
Yeah, I think that's big enough for like, I don't know I don't know how big you have to have a drain field for like 3 lots. How big is that drain
You
field?
got 3 acres there to play with, so it should be close.
On how many fixtures they have.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And if it's anything like the usual requirements, you'd have to have a secondary location for a second replacement drain field too.
Yeah. And we'll see what Roger says on Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go from there.
So hopefully they have enough options.
Find out on Friday. What happened to my customers? It was supposed to be here tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Is Apple Underground online?
No, they're not here. They were sent the agenda. They were talked to at least twice last week. I don't know why they're not here. I even just double checked before the meeting to make sure that the email was sent to them and it was sent to Gordy and Brent, so.
Did come back as an undeliverable, so.
I did get an email from Brent today, because I've been kind of pushing, because this checklist, I mean, it might not seem that important because this is just another building on an already approved site, but this checklist is a required part of the application, and I told them 3 different times that I need you to submit this checklist, and if you think everything is already covered, indicate that. If you think that you're just supplying it this time, indicate that, but just show me that you've acknowledged all these things and I didn't get that message across, I guess. But Brent did send me a few things earlier today, but it's really all the same stuff you already have. So I don't really have anything more than what you have there.
I don't think we take any action until they're here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was clear that they should be here.
Yeah,
So they already own the land, they're just adding a building to it.
right.
Not buying.
Anything else?
No.
I'll give them 4.5 minutes till 7:30 and then I'd move the table.
They're gonna have to give us something for their planting.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said the checklist of lighting and landscaping are 2 things that are on that checklist, and neither one of those are mentioned in anything here. So,
He's rezoned it all. Change. Rezone, basically getting rid of.
I see WTA did get enough people to go to the
Eliminate it.
Juneau
yeah,
meeting, so.
So it'd be tanks, septic tanks.
Did I sign up to go to that or not? I can't remember.
I
don't think I did I?
No.
Christie and
Christie.
Clay.
Christie and Mike.
Yeah. I don't think you or Mike were gonna go to any this year.
So we're.
So next year, your number will be up
Per,
for the one.
Each lot has its own temporary holding.
correct.
So if it's so full, it's gonna get.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna get full.
No. Right, so it'd be like basically, basic septic system, like it's pumped. It's a pumped.
Starting February 15th, we'll start having that 30-day period open for changes to the land use plan through March 15th. Do you have anything?
Oh, and the other thing is the town board gave you guys a raise. You get $35 a meeting now.
When did we do that?
Budget meeting.
Oh, I'm glad we did finally.
We made the
That was
motion.
your idea.
I've been trying to do it for years.
Anybody who came up with it can't accept it, you know.
He doesn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a moot point for me. But yeah, it's something I've been trying to do for years. You know? Thank you.
Okay,
Geez, I don't know what I'm doing. you know.
Chris,
close enough.
when did you
All right, then
say
we-
those
then we
dates were for the
Friday.
land use changes?
February
you can,
15th through March 15th is the 30-day window for any changes that they want to make to the land use plan.
So we might have one for the commercial use properties.
That's what I'm asking.
Secondary residences in all R1 lots. For a mother-in-law.
You catch on pretty quick.
I like it.
No, I thought I left mine in the car.
Well, I always
It
forget it.
was a lot.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I got one of those.
Like
What I want to know is when did they look at that pond?
that. I moved to table item number 5 tonight, the Capital Underground, until next meeting.
A second.
Motion by Anders, second to table to next meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. How about number 6?
Say so moved. Say so moved.
Number
So
6.
It said so moved.
In the second,
Still, yes.
For adjournment, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried.
This would be February plan stuff.
So what happened with the UTV? UTV?
Nothing.